Recently, there has been an uptick in the number of scams perpetrated on seniors. It is important for all of us to be aware of what these scams might look like and how to avoid becoming a victim. Chief Brooks and Kerry McCarthy share some important tips.
Scams. I know we are constantly telling you about scams, but we just want to remind you, do not answer the phone. If you do not know the number, don't pick it up. If it's important, they will leave you a message or they will call you back. Also, emails. A lot of folks are coming in and bringing some emails that they're receiving. They're printing them off and showing us, and you can tell right away by the email address that it is a scam. So if you do not know the email address, please just delete it, get rid of it, do not open any attachments. If you are in any doubt or have any questions, please reach out to anyone here at the Senior Center and we can help you. We want to keep you safe. We want to make sure that these scammers do not take advantage of our seniors here in Norwood. Again, any questions or concerns, you can call us, and if you have been scammed or feel as though somebody is trying to scam you, please reach out to the Norwood Police Department.
Hi, this is Chief Bill Brooks of the Norwood Police Department. And I just want to talk a little bit about some of the scams that we've seen around Norwood recently. And what we've seen around Norwood is typical of what really is around the greater Boston area and really across the country. They're really rather common. So let me just describe a few. One is called the grandparent scam. And although it's called that, it can really represent any time you get a call from someone you believe is a member of your family, maybe a member of your family you haven't talked to in a while, and they're in trouble. And that trouble will typically be that they've been in a crash, that they've been arrested, or that they've been kidnapped. And what they need is money. Specifically, they need cash. Oftentimes during the phone call, a third party will get on the phone quickly, so there's no chance that you're not going to recognize the person's voice. That person may be an attorney. It may be one of the kidnappers. It may be some other person who's trying to help, who's a third party. And they'll explain the process for you providing the cash. In the case we had recently, the amount of cash needed was $9,000. And the woman who could not get to the bank was told that a car would pick her up. Now that really could be one of the bad actors involved in that transport, or it could have been a car service sent to her house to pick her up. In any event, she was driven to the bank. And when she got to the bank, she asked the teller for that amount of cash. Now typically the person on the phone will tell the victim not to talk to anybody about what's happened. It might be, gee, you don't want to embarrass your grandson, or if somebody finds out about this, it won't work out. In any event, it took a few minutes for the teller to glean from the victim exactly what was happening. And then that alert teller put a stop to it. And that was great work by the teller, and we have seen that before. The driver drove off when that happened, and the crime was not completed. So good work by the bank teller there. Another scam that we've seen is the naked photo scam. And we just saw that recently. That's more likely to target younger people. So that younger person meets somebody online, maybe on Instagram, and they begin to communicate back and forth. Oftentimes the male victim, but not always. But let's say the male victim has been told by the female, let me send you some photos of myself. And of course, they're not photos of the person you're really communicating with, but they're photos of an attractive woman. And then it might be a scantily clad photo of that particular woman, and then the woman says, let me send you some naked photos. I'll do that if you send me photos of you. And before you know it, the person has taken off their clothes and is sending naked photos in exchange for naked photos from the other person. And then you get that message over, again, Instagram or Snapchat or whatever platform you're on, saying, look, now I have these photos of you, and I also know who all your contacts are. Send me cash, or I'm going to release these photos to your contact list. So again, that the way to avoid that is not to be sending naked photos to people. Certainly don't send naked photos to somebody you have never met before. It's just you just run that risk. Another scam is the romance scam. Again, similar to what I just talked about, and this is someone that you've met online, but you've never met in person. In fact, there was an article in the Globe just recently about this. A woman said she was 85 and she had a much younger boyfriend, but they'd never been able to meet in person. And typically this person that you're communicating with will ask for cash because they want to set up a business or they want to come visit you. Boy, I'd love to meet you in person, but I'm going to need about $5,000 to travel. And if you could just transmit that $5,000 to me, I'll be able to come and visit you. That's called the romance scam. In reality, that's not a young boyfriend, that's somebody looking to scam you. Another scam we've seen from time to time and is fairly common, we call it the IRS scam. And that's someone who calls you and purports to be a member of the IRS, and they tell you, there are back taxes for you, and you're not current on your taxes. And if you don't pay your taxes, we're going to come and arrest you. And they make arrangements for you to transmit the money. Now, oftentimes, oddly enough, these persons claiming to be agents from the IRS will direct the person to go to a CVS or to a Target and to buy a gift card, and scratch the numbers off the back and read the numbers, and that's how you pay your back taxes. Well, that's absurd. Number one, the IRS would never collect back taxes that way, but more importantly, the IRS never calls you by phone. If the IRS needs to reach you, they're going to send you a letter, and they're not going to call you by phone. So disregard that. Sometimes you get a call from a person purporting to be law enforcement who says we have a warrant for your arrest, and if you don't pay a back fine, we're going to come out and arrest you. Well, listen, if that happens and you're a Norwood resident, give us a call back if you want to authenticate that call is real. Well, we do call people who have arrest warrants out for them to let them know that they have a warrant for a minor charge, but we don't collect any kind of fines or court fees over the phone. So give us a call if you receive a call like that, and we'll be able to verify it. This is a good time for me to mention telephone number spoofing. There are apps out there that will allow you to make a call from your phone, but have the number on the receiving phone appear to be someone else. And we have had people spoof our number to an outgoing call to another person. So the phone number will show up as 762-1212, and that might not be us at all. Feel free to call the police station. We can talk to you. We'll tell you what's really going on. Another scam that we see is computer hacking. And that's where you're on the computer and somebody else seems to be in control of your mouse. And they tell you that if you give them some information, you give them specifically your password, that they can help you solve that problem. And that you'll need to transmit some money to them, and they'll help you, remove the problem that you're having with your computer. Never do that. Those are all scams. Nobody's going to just arbitrarily come up on your computer and start taking control of your mouse. That's all computer hacking, and you never want to fall for that. And I guess the last one I want to mention is the sweepstakes scam. That's where a person calls, similar to the IRS scam, says you have won the sweepstakes, you've won clearinghouse sweepstakes, for instance, and all you have to do is prepay the income tax. And again, they will direct you to CVS or Target and ask you to take out some money by buying a gift card and then scratching the numbers on the back. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And you don't want to fall for that. So a few things I want to mention. I do again want to compliment bank tellers who interrupt these kinds of scams. That's very helpful. And sometimes rideshare drivers like Uber will get in the middle of these things, realize that they're transporting a person for some unlawful purpose, and will help us interrupt that. So some cautions. Cautions about incoming calls. People who call you that you have not solicited, that should be a red flag. Start right there. Somebody calls you and you have not asked them to call you, it's a number you don't recognize, be very cautious of that. The purchase of gift cards and scratching the back for the purpose of paying anything over the phone. Never do that. Never scratch the back of a gift card for the purpose of revealing numbers that will help you pay for something. Back taxes or a court fine or anything like that. Never do that. And some of these people will actually have you pay by cash, by either asking you to put cash in a UPS or FedEx envelope and to mail it somewhere, or the real brazen ones will show up at your house, or may ask you to hop in a car and take a ride to the bank. Never do that. Listen, if you ever suspect that you're in the middle of a scam, call us. These things happen all the time, and we would rather talk to you about it than have you be a victim. We're never going to judge you for the fact that you're halfway through one of these things before you figure it out. Pick up the phone, give us a call. We're happy to help you. We'll send a radio car to your house, or you can come here to the station. We'll walk you through it, and we'll help you get out of it. So I appreciate that NCM is doing this particular piece. This is really very valuable. We see too many people lose too much money in scams, and I think it's great that NCM is doing this piece.